Hey up and welcome to Matt's Mindful Meals. As you can see, I'm out again and it's a place you will have seen before. It's absolutely stunning place. Anyway, today I've come out. I was meant to be hammocking with somebody that you'll see in a bit and you'll probably know him, but something's cropped up so I can't actually camp. So what I'm doing, I've come up and decided to cook them steak and chips as a bit of a treat. Anyway, it's time to get the meal machine moving and I'll catch you when I get down to the beach. Hiya again. So I'm almost at the river now. So you can see the meal machine behind me. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to spot today's mystery guest. Give me a sec. So there he is. I don't know if you can guess yet, but he's blending well in with the countryside, as you can see, in his bright orange camouflage fleece. Anyway, I'm going to walk across and introduce you to Oscar Outdoors. And that's his missus, Danielle. So I'll speak to them in a sec. Hey, he's waving. So here he is, and learning's taking place. Hey, old mate.
Hey up, how we diddling?
Not bad at all. Sorry I can't camp tonight, mate, but I'll do your steak and chips instead, and I think that's a good deal, innit?
It is, sounds good to me, pal.
Right, I'm going to get down by the river and get the fire going.
Yeah.
And come down, see me in a minute.
Yeah, we'll do.
See you in a bit. Ta!
Bye.
Hey up! So you've seen me get the fire ready. So I'm just about to start to make all the other bits and pieces. And Scott and Danielle are going to come down in a minute. But I'll just show you the kind of stuff that I've got. So today is even more simple food-wise, but it's a pot that I've not used before. It's one of them cast iron pots and it's about 3.5 litres of food you can put in it. So I decided I was going to do chips today. So obviously for chips, you're going to need some spuds. So I've got 4 of them because there's going to be 3 of us eating, but they're going to be special chips. 1970s chips these are going to be. And then top of it, and you can't have steak without having some onions, so I've got a couple of onions. This one's a runaway onion. Anyway, what other things I've got in here is, I've got mustard, because I don't think there's a better sauce for steak than mustard with a little bit of ketchup at the side. Now I know some people say, oh, you shouldn't put, but it's what you're eating. If I like it, I'm going to have it. Thank you very much. Bit of mayonnaise, because some people like mayonnaise, but because I'm doing chips, you've got to have vinegar. And I don't think you can go with about a bit of salt on your chips. Anyway, I'll shove them in here so they don't fall over. And the prep for this really is keeping that fire going. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the pot directly onto the fire and bring the oil up to temperature. And when the oil's more or less up to temperature, because the chips are going to take 2 times to cook, so I'm going to cook them twice. And then just quickly do the steaks, because I like my steak medium rare. But anyway, so it's dead simple today. There's not going to be that much gas in. So there's going to be more chopping, a little bit of a chat to Scott, because I'll tell you what we've been up to with him. And I'll catch you in a minute. So we're ready to get some of the chopping done. Onions first, get these peeled. Almost let a secret out then. Two more minutes and you'll be able to see my secret weapon for today's 1970s chips. So I'll put these onions to one side. Now for the 1970s bit. So if you're like me, a kid who was born in the 1970s, chips was something we ate quite often. So they weren't all that exciting. But then somebody came along and invented the crinkle cutter. So you got crinkle cut chips. My favourites. So let's get these crinkled up. So there you have it, crinkle cut chips, ready to go in the fire in a bit. Can't wait. Time to prepare the steaks. So I like steak, and if it's just seasoned with salt and pepper, don't go and put anything posh on it. Just salt and pepper is more than adequate for me. So what I want to do is dry the steak off so that the juice that's on the steaks when they're in the packets is taken away, so you've got a nice dry steak to season. So a little bit of kitchen towel. Now these are ribeye steaks. Now they're about £5 each, these. So not the most expensive steaks in the world you can buy. Do the last one. Put my rubbish in the bin. And I've got these tiny little salt and pepper grinders, and I can't remember where. I've had them for so long, but I just haven't used them. Anyway, so I'll get some pepper on there. And now we'll get some salt on. So now, go and check the fire. So this is the new cast iron pan I'm on about. So I'm just going to put that straight on here. It's got little legs on the bottom that'll keep it straight. So to do the chips, I'm going to put some vegetable oil in. If I can get the top off. Hey! So don't go any more than half full on this, because you don't want it to boil over when you put the potatoes in. So that's about a third full. So what I'm going to do now, I'll let this get hot, but keep your eye on it, and I'll have a quick catch up with Scott. So as you can see, Scott and Danielle are here, and this is my new cast iron pot that I'm using for the first time. So need to get this oil up to temperature and then keep the fire going, so because we're going to cook the chips twice. The first time I'll do them, then I'll take them out, give them a bit of a rest, then I'll move things around a little bit so that I can start doing the steaks, and then eventually we'll do the second fry of the chips, so hopefully they'll be nice and crunchy when we take them out. But yeah, as you see, Oscar Outdoors is here. He came up to mine last night and we had a few beers in my house, and the intention was tonight for all three of us to hammock out. Well, something's cropped up and I can't, I've got to go back home, but I thought I'll do steak and chips first.
Works for me.
So we're having steak and chips, hopefully in a bit, and that's if I survive all this smoke that I'm breathing in. But yeah, so it's been good to have a good catch up, a few beers last night, because I think I haven't seen you since Easter last year when I came up to Yorkshire. But yeah, so it's good. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a natter and let this go. But I'll bring you back when the oil's at the right temperature and I can start putting the chips in. So I just need to check whether this oil's hot enough or not. So bring that off. Yeah, we're ready. It's time to get some chips in. That's why you don't put too much oil in, because it could boil over. So I think we've got enough in for now. So first lot, I've had the first fry, so I like them quite brown and they go a lot really crispy. But it all depends on what kind of potatoes you put in. So I'll take these out. Move them to one side. And put the next batch in. So the chips are in now for their second fry, so I'm going to take them off, and there's going to be enough heat in that pan to keep them going, so I can bring them off to the side. So they're off to the side. I'll put the lid on to keep them frying, because they're only going to be in there now for another 5 or 6 minutes. I remember I said I do like my chips quite brown. So what we can do now is, there's plenty of heat left in this. Spread it around with my gloves. I've got my little fire grate, so let that get hot. So what I can also do is get one of my pans on, which has got the oil in where the chips were being kept. And in that I'm going to fry the onions off. Pop them in there, and as ever with my firebox tins, pop the other one on top, and we're laughing. And everybody's having theirs medium rare today. 1, 2, 3. As simple as that. So the view from above, we've got the steaks on the go, got the onions in the firebox stove pans, and in my cast iron pan, I've got the chips finishing off. Time to turn them steaks over. Just had a nightmare, I've just dropped one of the steaks in the sand, so it's just having a bit of a wash off in the river. So I'm going to take the other steaks off as soon as Scott gets back with the tongs.
Come here.
Passes that. This one's mine, marinated in the River Findorm. Oh, Scott, you have to go back again, mate, because look, all underneath there. Don't want it crunchy. So, I'll tell you, can't get the staff these days. Steaks are more done than I wanted them to be. Bit of a disaster. We'll take the chips out now. Oh, it's hot in this kitchen, and it's just started to rain. So we'll get the chips out, and then we'll get it served up. Steaks. Anyway, I'll catch you in a second when I get it up there. So there we have it. Steak and chips with loads of fried onions. Matt's Mindful Meals. Crinkle cut chips and steak. Beautiful. And that is your view. Can't beat it. Well, we finished this tea. Well, you know how I normally do the scores, like between 1 and 10. I'm going to go last this week. So, we'll go Danielle first, ladies first. How many out of 10 for steak and chips?
7.
7? It's a good score.
See, I'm going to go slightly higher. I'm going to go for an 8 because it was cooked to perfection. The chips were fantastic. Just obviously we had a little bit of sand. So I'm just marking you down on a little bit of sand.
I'm going to go for a solid 3. Because my steak ended up on the sand. So it was literally like eating beach and chips. The chips were brilliant though. So the chips in that pan worked really well. But yeah, big fail on my steak today. No tar. Anyway, I'm going to tidy up. And then I'll say ta-ra to these guys and then I'll come pick them up in the morning. So it's been great catching up with Scott and I'll see him again tomorrow and he's coming back mine for a few beers. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and you can come back and watch me make a right abortion of cooking some steak again. Anyway, take care of yourselves and I'll see you all soon. Ta-ra!